Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me okay? How about now? All right, hi. Are you all here for the Food and Wine Festival, or are you here because you like coffee? All right, I like coffee too, that's why I'm here. And I was trying to think, what can I share with you all? And I always try to go to a place that's true in me. I'm a writer and I'm an editor, and when I write, I try to just go to that place that is the most true to my experiences. And the one thing that I often say to myself in gratitude about coffee is that it is a legal drug, and it's a drug that God gave us. I don't even know if I believe in God, but you know, when it comes to coffee, I think there is a God because we have it. I would not be able to function in the morning without it. And that's not a very original thought, but maybe it's not original because it's shared by so many people. I was trying to think of other things about coffee, and sorry to go right into the potty humor, but I find that that's a universal thing. Everyone likes potty humor. A pro about coffee is that it makes you pee, which is, I mean, it's healthy to pee. It's healthy to, you know, eliminate and everything, but it's a little too often maybe with the coffee. And a pro about coffee is that it's a laxative, which is, I mean, people don't talk about it enough, and especially not in the food world. I edit a food section, and we like to talk about things going into your mouth and not things coming out. And I think that it's actually an unsung attribute of coffee, that it just, you know, how much better is life when, you know, but I can move on. We have a great section at the magazine. We recently had someone write about all the great indie coffee shops in New York City. Gimme Coffee is one of them. Another one, 9th Street Espresso in the Chelsea Market. We recently had someone from 9th Street Espresso come and show us how to make, I think it was French press coffee. We have a little feature called a KitchenAid, where in 5 steps we tell you how to do things the right way in your kitchen. So I guess the secret to French press coffee that really makes it a better cup is if you soak the grinds with hot water in the French press for about a minute. It's called letting the grounds bloom. It really releases a lot of the flavor and aromatics that you might not get if you make a French press pot of coffee and you just, you know, let it fill up with water and then wait and then plunge it. Do you guys all know what I'm talking about? Am I okay? So that's exciting. I didn't know that, but our film editor came up to me in the kitchen at Time Out one day, and she was like, "Gabriella, I've been enjoying my French press pots of coffee so much more now that you've run this feature." So coffee is not only something that I like, but it's also community service where I come from. Something else that we did in the section was how to cold brew coffee, and that was courtesy of a place in Nolita. Do you remember what it was?
Was it a Gimme Coffee?
Yeah, I think it was Gimme Coffee in Nolita. I want to give them a shout out because apparently there's a wonderful, elaborate way that you can make iced coffee without ever heating the coffee at all. And I didn't even mean to plug the section, but go to timeoutnewyork.com and look it up because I can't remember. But one of my coworkers is so addicted to it that he keeps drinking it because it tastes so good, and he keeps drinking it and he's making himself sick. So. Yeah, I think that I keep returning to that like very body kind of element of coffee. It also tastes fantastic. Coffee ice cream. I like coffee caramels, coffee sucking candies, coffee anything. I can keep talking. My name is Gabriella, Gabby for short. So someone better interrupt me. Yes.
Hi. So as a dining editor, I'm sure you eat out a lot. So have you ever had an experience in a restaurant where a coffee has sort of ruined your experience? Like it's not good or anything, any memorable sort of coffee disasters in terms of that?
I wish I had a coffee disaster for you. I think that if coffee isn't good in its morning, then you know I'm fucked, and I need to go. I don't like it when the coffee isn't strong in the morning. I've learned not to drink milky coffee in the evening after a meal, and I know the Italians say you shouldn't drink milky coffee after noon, and I think it's just common sense. And the way I eat too, if you guys lived a day in my life, you might have a lot of fun, but if you lived 365, you'd probably have a lot of indigestion. So like a nice strong espresso is the way to go with it, and thankfully the caliber of restaurants I get to go to, they don't screw it up that much. Yes?
Do they make it?
See if you have any food allergies to be a food editor?
No one, your friend, James, is the one who interviewed me.
Ooh.
I think he may have asked me if I was vegetarian.
And that would have been a strike again?
I think he asked me if I was kosher.
Ah.
Yes, I'm an MOT, and so is he, a member of the tribe. And I eat pretty much everything. I went to one restaurant where they had 37 courses, and one of them was lamb's brains. I took my mom for her birthday. She wouldn't eat them, but I did. So that doesn't answer your allergy question, but I think it does answer your omnivore question.
Are there things that you think people do as diners that either get them better service or worse service?
It's a good question. If you have anything specific in mind that might help me out, is there anything specific that you're thinking?
Well, like maybe your approach to the waiter, or I don't know, just the way you behave yourself in a restaurant.
Yeah, I think,
Order your steak? Is that, yeah.
I recently went out with some extended family members who I haven't dined out with for a long time, and they asked for everything well done. And I mean, I think the answer to every question about how you want to talk to a waiter is probably in Anthony Bourdain's book, Kitchen Confidential. But if you ask for your food well cooked, I don't think that the kitchen is going to take you as seriously as a diner. But I went to a Gordon Ramsay talk yesterday. He spoke to Kim Severson, who's a reporter at the New York Times. And this is really interesting. Are you guys familiar with Gordon Ramsay? He's a very ballsy British chef who has a show where he has a lot of rules, and he feels very strongly about everything that he says. And I was surprised when he told the audience that diners must tell the kitchen how they want things and whether they like something or not. So that really surprised me, because the American palate, even though in New York we have very eclectic tastes, there's still I think there's still a long way to go from the average American palate to the kind of kitchen that Gordon Ramsay might be referring to. But I think that's worth something, that a chef that famous encourages diners to speak up. He says the customers are the ones who matter, not the critics.
Did you always imagine that this would be your vocation when you were younger? Did you want to be a chef, or did you have food-oriented goals, or has it sort of come upon you as in your life, surprisingly?
It was a choice, but it wasn't a choice that I had been, dreaming of making for so long. I grew up in a household where my mom is a self-taught cook, and she was, she really loves what she does. She's a caterer, but she was doing it in front of my face all through my childhood, and my sisters too. And I have a talent for writing, but what I really decided, and I think this is not a bad philosophy for life, it served me pretty well, I just decided I want to do what comes easiest. And when writing comes easily to me, so that one was already, I decided I would try to do that as an adult. And when I go to a new city, I don't know if you guys experience this too, maybe you get to know the city through music or through theater or through the local bars, but I get to know a city through, what's the best, who makes the best this, who makes the best that. And when someone comes and visits me, we're going to eat, because that's the way I get to know a place. So I just decided that, that's what I have to offer to readers, and that's why I am where I am. Yep.
What's your guilty pleasure?
I really like junk food. I eat sugar. Sugar is my #1 drug, but coffee is a good drug. It's healthy. Sugar is a bad drug. So I'm going to admit this. It's horrendous, but I'm going to tell you. I don't do this often. I actually rarely do. But if someone put a can of vanilla frosting in front of me, I could eat it. I could eat the whole thing. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Thank you.